Hi guys, I'm Eloise and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well. Today I have quite a big book haul. There are 34 books in total. Yeah, there's quite a few. I couldn't... Oh, sorry, my ring light is just fallen over. Right. Yeah, there are quite a few. I couldn't say no to quite a few of these and you'll see why very shortly. I'm not going to go massively into the synopsis of them all or anything because we will be here all day, but I am a chatterbox and I've just said that, but who knows, maybe I will go into the synopsis, I don't know. But anyway, hope you stick around and enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get on with it and go through the 34 books I've bought over the last couple of months or so. Okay, so where I get my nails done is right next to a charity shop and I always end up popping in there. It's not got the biggest book selection, and if I come away with any it's usually like one or two. However, they had a massive bargain in there. All their books are £1, whether they're like whatever. So yeah, and I came away with what I think is a bargain, okay? So I have been wanting to read the Wheel of Time series for a very long time because I've heard it's epic fantasy. It's likened to things like Lord of the Rings and it's got loads of books. I think it's 13 or 14 books in total, and I do know there's an Amazon Prime series coming, so I wanted to read them. So I thought I'd end up starting with the first book and see how I got on. However, when I went into this charity shop, it's not the whole series, so I do have some to get, but I've ended up with quite a few of them, so I'm just going to show you them very quickly. So I have book 1, so The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, and that is book 1. I have got book 2, The Great Hunt. I have got book 3, The Dragon Reborn. I have got book 4, The Shadow Rising. I have got book 5, The Fires of Heaven, and they are all huge, by the way. I don't think I have book 6. No, I don't have book 6. I do have book 7, A Crown of Swords in hardback. So there's that one. I have book 8, The Path of Daggers in hardback, and this is like my favourite cover. I have a thing for like old fashioned like covers like this. Do you know what I mean? I've got book 9, Winter's Heart in hardback. And then we take a little bit of a detour, and then we end up with book 13, which I believe is the final book. I could be wrong on that one. So I'm missing 6, 10, 11 and 12. And this is the biggest book I've ever seen. Like, it's huge. Like, it's bigger than Sleep in a Sea of Stars, I think. Yeah, it is. Let me show you it against To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, because that is like a known big book. So this is a comparison of the two. This is bigger. Do you see my point? So this is absolutely huge. So yeah, sorry. I went on about that for ages. And then I think this is a prequel and it's called New Spring to the Wheel of Time series. So I'll probably start with this one, I think. Anyway, those were all £1. So I got them for like £11. How crazy is that? And they're all in pretty good condition. Obviously I prefer the hardback because I'm chuffed with those. But yeah, one absolute bargain. So if you don't do charity shopping for books, I absolutely recommend you do. I always do it because you come away with some bargains. I have a couple more charity shop bargains in here, which I will mention when I get to them. But honestly, yeah. I imagine some of those books, I could be wrong, I imagine particularly the hardbacks might be in like, people might be in search of those, and they were £1 and they are immaculate. So thank you to the person that donated those. You made my day and I absolutely cleared the shelf and they were laughing at me, so oops. Okay, the rest of them I will just go through randomly. Some of them are a series, so I will just show you the whole series, etc. So the first one I picked up, this was from World of Books, it was secondhand, is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I've seen a lot of good things. I believe jade is like something that is traded. It enhances strength, and I imagine it's like a war type battle over jade. I've heard excellent things. I've seen it about a lot and I thought I would give it a go. So there is Jade City. Next, I got The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and this was off Bookswap. So Bookswap, if you don't know, is a site where you list your books and people, provided they've got enough points, can buy them for just a postage cost, which I think is £3.58 off the top of my head. And you are given the postage label for free. You just need to drop it off at a drop-off centre. So, and the way you get points is by swapping books. So if you list a book and someone gets it off you, you then have a point to get a book for postage. You can get a book without points, but I think it adds a couple of pounds onto it, so it's still really cheap. And yeah, I really recommend it. I have got a link. I will put a link in my description box if anyone's interested, because if you sign up, we both get an extra point. So it's a really good site, and I got this off it, and as you can see, it's literally in like brand new condition. Loads of people absolutely adore this series. I know nothing about it. Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about it, but I've heard excellent things. So there's that one. Next book I bought secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. You will notice that I like to buy a bargain. I'm on search for bargains all the time. And that was Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, which is in immaculate condition. This has been talked about and raved about, and it was also longlisted for the Women's Prize this year. So I can't wait to dive in and see why everyone loves this. I think it's the first book I will have read, once I read it, that is a Women's Prize long list, so really looking forward to that. Next, I got the Cruel Prince trilogy by Holly Black. I bought this secondhand. I bought this secondhand off my friend Danielle on Instagram. I think I'll like it. I know it's like a fae high fantasy. That's all I know about it. I have been warned that it's not as smutty as ACOTAR because I like the smut. So I'm interested to see how I find this. Again, in immaculate condition and a bargain to get the trilogy. So looking forward to those. Next, I got Sunland Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I got this secondhand off World of Books. I got this because of her Use Project channel. She absolutely raves about this book. I think she picked it up on a whim. And now she's on like the third book, I think, and like rates them all very highly. Essentially, we follow our main character and his wife as they go and visit this huge Tower of Babel, which thousands of people live on. There's multiple floors. I think it would take like days, weeks, months to explore the whole thing. And as soon as he gets there with his wife, she goes missing. He loses her. So I think this book is based on him trying to find her in this huge tower. As I said, I'm totally influenced, so I'm intrigued to see if Reagan speaks the truth about this book, which I'm sure she does because her recommendations are awesome. Next, my lovely friend Megan sent me Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I was sadly had COVID and I was feeling a bit sorry for myself, and the lovely Megan sent me this to cheer me up. So thank you so much, Megan. I believe this follows our main character who finds herself transported back to the 1800s, and as she's a black woman, she is therefore presumed to be a slave. So I think there's a bit of sci-fi in this, obviously time travel. I imagine it will be really upsetting to read, but I've heard excellent things, and that is why I added it to my wish list, so can't wait to read that one. Next is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and this is Mistborn Book 1. I know nothing about it. I follow lots of people who absolutely love Brandon Sanderson's writing. I've not yet read anything by him, but my research suggests that this or Elantris is a good place to start. So I think I will probably start with this one and see how I get on. But I'm so looking forward to getting involved in the series because everyone loves it, so I cannot wait to read it. Next is another charity shop bargain that I was chuffed with, and that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the collector's first edition with the really pretty, hold on, decorated pages. This was £1 in a charity shop and it is in literally brand new condition. I know nothing about it. I have got the Mortal Instruments, the first 5 books, I think, off the top of my head. And they are on my shelf up there, and I do want to start with those because I've not read anything by Cassandra Clare yet, so I didn't actually plan on getting this, but when I saw it for £1, there was no way I wasn't going to pick it up. And so with that, I also that made me pick this up. This is brand new, and that is the second book in the Last Hours series, and it is Chain of Iron, and it is the collector's first edition again. I wanted it to match that book that I picked up, so I couldn't resist and I had to buy this as well. Next, I got Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've heard a lot of excellent things. I believe our main character is a red and they are used to mine on Mars. However, I believe they're considered like the kind of lowest class, if you will, and they are all almost considered as like slave labour. That is what I believe, and that is all I know. And obviously that is a lie, and I think the main character finds out. Yeah, this is part of a series. I've heard great things. I wanted to pick it up, so I got the first book, and I will see how I get on with it. Next is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. My lovely partner Nick got me this because he thought he'd treat me to a book, which I was very grateful for. I know nothing about it. I'm sorry. I believe it involves bone shard magic, I guess, from the title. And I've heard people say there are cute animal companions in this, which makes me very happy, although nervous because I will get very upset if anything happens to any animals. It's one thing I just hate to read about. But I've heard excellent things. I was highly influenced by the likes of people like J.D. Ray Reeves on here, who said this was great, and G at Book Roast, so I'm looking forward to diving into this and seeing what all the fuss is about. Next is a book I'm so excited to show you and so thankful to Hodder that I have, so thank you so much Hodder for sending me an advance copy of Jadefire Gold by June C.L. Tan. I believe we followed two people. One is the heir of the king and another is kind of a lost soul that doesn't know her family or where she belongs, and they find each other and realise they both might be the answer to each other's problems. I saw this in the Hodder catalogue and I thought it looked and sounded brilliant and right up my street, so I cannot wait to read this. Again, thank you so much Hodder. This book is not out until November, so I have a little while to read it. However, it sounds right up my street, so I imagine I will be reading it pretty soon. Next, I picked this up in a charity shop, and that is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I know nothing about it. I've heard it's kind of sci-fi, dystopian, but I honestly have no idea what this is about. I feel like I'd rather not know what it's about, so I'd rather go into it blind and see what all the fuss is about, because I know a lot of people love this book. So that, yeah, this was £1. I couldn't say no. It's literally brand new. I bought it. Next, I am part of a book club, and one of the lovely ladies in the book club told us all we had to read this book. It's really good. So it's not actually a book club pick, but she persuaded us all. So I ended up buying it. And that is The Shelf by Helly Acton. I think we follow our main character, Amy, as she believes her boyfriend is taking her on a surprise holiday. However, she finds herself in kind of like a Big Brother-esque type house and is brutally dumped on live TV. And she has to compete in like a load of challenges and something. I'm intrigued by this. It says 6 women, 4 weeks, 1 house who will be left on the shelf. So I assume if they don't like complete or win a challenge, they are dumped from this house. Yeah, it sounds really good. And I'm thankful to Lauren in our book club who said you must read it, because everyone who's read it so far in her recommendation has like loved it. So I am intrigued and I'm looking forward to this. Next, I was gifted these by my lovely, lovely friend on Instagram, Sarah, who is at A Page of Words and Wishes on Instagram, and you must follow her because her page is beautiful. She gives you the best recommendations, particularly in Greek mythology. And yeah, she very kindly gifted me 2 books, which thank you so much. And she knows that I was very cross at her for doing this, but I'm also equally grateful. So the first book is a stunning exclusive edition of Troy by Stephen Fry. I believe this is probably a retelling, or not necessarily a retelling, but like a new telling of an old story, if you will, which is a retelling, but I don't think it's like a reimagined retelling, if you know what I mean. It may well be, I don't know, about Troy. I know nothing about Troy, and this book would have never interested me, but I did add it to my wish list because I read The Song of Achilles last month and absolutely loved it, and since then I'm like, oh my god, I want to read so much about Greek mythology. I've heard that Stephen Fry's books on Greek mythology are excellent, and yeah, I'm so excited and I absolutely adore this beautiful edition. So thank you so much, Sarah. I can't wait to read it. And then next, Sarah also, thank you so much, sent to me In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland, and this is the beautiful Elima Crate edition that Sarah didn't read. So thank you, Sarah. I'm obsessed. I believe this is a standalone fantasy, and I think it features a polyamorous relationship. I think. I may be wrong. But yeah, it comes with this beautiful like author's note with it, and it's such a stunning book, and yeah, I can't wait. I've heard A.M. Strickland is an excellent writer, and I'm very excited, and I think this book is just stunning. Like, look at the cover. Stunning. Next, I picked up The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, I got this from World of Books, and it's a pretty good condition hardback for like £4, so I was chuffed with that. And again, this is based off of the fact that I read The Song of Achilles and now want to read Greek mythology a lot. So I believe this is like a telling of the Trojan War through the eyes of the women involved in the typical stories. Yeah, it sounded great. I wanted to read things from different aspects, so I'm really looking forward to it. There's that one. Next, I got Long Bright River by Liz Moore, and this was off Book Swap, and as you can see, it's pretty much a brand new hardcover, so I paid $3.58 for this. Like, come on. Something I know nothing about other than I think it's like a slow burn mystery. I'm not quite sure what this is about, I have to be honest, and the reason I got it is because my friend Emma on Instagram said this is like one of her new favourite books. She absolutely adored it, and Emma is like my go-to person for thriller recommendations. She recommended The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean, and I bought it based on her recommendation and absolutely adored it. It was 5-star, excellent, brilliant read for me. So anytime she recommends something, I add it to my to be read. And as she said, this was that good. It's one of her new favourite books. I couldn't say no. And when I saw it on Book Swap, it was a no-brainer. So yeah, no idea what it's about, but I trust you, Emma. I trust you. Next, I picked up White Ivy by Susie Yang. I believe this is a thriller, and our main protagonist is an immigrant living in Boston, and she kind of isn't really going anywhere until she starts to shoplift the things that she needs to fit in. And I get the feeling she kind of starts leading quite a affluent life, despite perhaps not earning it in the correct ways and paying her way. That's what I think this book is about. I could be totally wrong, but I've heard excellent things, and I bought it from the same person that I bought Detransition Baby off, and again, it's in immaculate condition and was £4, so I couldn't say no. Next, I picked up my first Neil Gaiman book, and that is The Ocean at the End of the Lane. I know I keep going on about my bargains, right, but I'm a bargain hunter. This is immaculate, and I think it might be a first edition. I'm not very good at first editions, but it's got just a number 1, so I presume it's a first edition, but I'm probably wrong. And it was £3. £3, okay? No idea what this is about, but I wanted to read a Neil Gaiman book, and a lot of people say this is weird and wonderful, and I thought, oh, that sounds like my type of thing, so I thought I'd start with it. So this is my first Neil Gaiman book, and I'm looking forward to it. Finally, I have already read this, but I bought it in the same sort of haul, so I wanted to mention it. When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. This book is one of my new favourite books. It's non-fiction and it is incredible. Paul was training to be a neurosurgeon, and after almost 10 years of training, he was doing exceptionally well. He had job offers coming from here, there and everywhere. And then unfortunately he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, and this book was actually sadly published after he died. So this is his kind of memoir of his training and the lives and deaths he dealt with every day while training to be a neurosurgeon, and then how he came to terms with the fact he had cancer. He actually did end up going back to work, which I think is incredible. And it's incredible. It's one of my all-time favourite books. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. I cried for ages. I cried my eyes out over this book. There is a bit at the end from his wife, and it's just... yeah, one of my all-time favourites. I highly, highly recommend this book, but obviously it does come with a lot of trigger warnings, so be aware of that. Especially if cancer is quite triggering for you, I would avoid this book. But it's one of my all-time favourites, and I will never let my copy go. I just loved it. Finally, I will show you the June Fairyloot book, and that is Fire with Fire by Destiny Soraya. That's the author's note. This is about a two sisters who believe that dragons must be killed, until I believe one of the sisters ends up becoming a companion with one, and perhaps they realise that dragons aren't as bad as they presumed, I guess. But if I can just show you, this is the naked hardback with the lovely sprayed edges, and then on the inside cover it's got like a picture of the sisters with this dragon. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, I'm not gonna lie. I think it will be sad. I think it will be sad, but I also think I'll love it. So if there's any like killings of dragons, I'm just gonna have to skip past that because I can't read it. But yeah, when it comes to the companion stuff, I am really interested, and I just look at that spine. Oh, it's just beautiful. Very delivering. Okay, my mouth is dry, my books are a mess. I think we're done. Yeah, that is my latest book haul. It's quite a few books, but as you could see, I am a bargain hunter. I love secondhand finds. I do buy new books, but secondhand finds are like my thing. I just love going to a charity shop or getting an absolute bargain off Facebook or World Books or somewhere like that. Abe Books is also brilliant. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these and if you recommend any of them, what your favourites are, any books you've hauled recently that you really recommend. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, I'd be so grateful if you could give my video a thumbs up. I'd also love it if you wanted to watch more of my chaotic videos. If you could subscribe, I'd be very grateful. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in another video soon. Bye!